$9 billion in today's currency, only the golds. And the banknotes, just another $7 billion.
They're going to go to Hitler's collection and other collections. It's an industrial scale looting.
The ground started to shake. Faint, deep sounds echoed from beneath the workers' feet as their tools vibrated strangely in their hands. Something was down there. After hours of digging, a spade hit solid iron, a massive sealed door covered in mysterious symbols from a bygone era. For 80 years, this place held the darkest secret of World War II, a hoard of unimaginable Nazi treasure. They thought they were just digging a foundation, but they were actually knocking on the door to history, a history that is very much alive and very, very dangerous. Shovel, dirt, and destiny. It all began with a sound.
Signal. Non-ferrous.
Nicht Eisen. Okay, that sounds good.
A faint, deep hum that seemed to come from the very heart of the earth. In a remote forest nestled at the foot of a lonely mountain, a team of construction workers was doing what they did every day, moving dirt. The job was routine, the location unremarkable. But on this day, the ground itself seemed to be trying to tell them something. At first, they dismissed the strange noises. You see, when you're operating heavy machinery, you expect the world to groan and rumble around you. It was only when they paused for a break that they noticed it, a persistent low-frequency vibration that you could feel in the soles of your boots. The thing nobody tells you about discovering something extraordinary is that it rarely happens with a bang. It starts as a quiet puzzle, a detail that's just a little bit off. As the crew dug deeper, maybe 10 or 12 feet down, the ground began to tremble more noticeably. Their tools would echo in a strange way, as if there was a massive hollow space just beneath the surface.
We're going to take a measurement and see how far across it takes before we're at something solid.
One of the supervisors, a man who had worked in construction for over 30 years, noticed something else. A strange metallic smell was coming from the freshly turned soil, an old stale scent that reminded him of a forgotten basement. It was the smell of something sealed away from the world for a very, very long time. Many people are crazy about stories of lost treasure, but the reality is often muddy, sweaty, and frustrating. For hours they kept digging, the mystery growing with every scoop of earth. Then it happened. A worker's spade didn't sink into the soft ground. Instead, it hit something unyielding with a loud clang that echoed across the clearing. They had hit something hard, something big. The crew gathered around, their curiosity overriding their exhaustion. They carefully scraped away the dirt, and what they revealed sent a shockwave of excitement and confusion through the entire team. It was a large, powerful iron structure. As they cleared more earth, they realized it wasn't just a plate of metal, it was a door. A heavy fortified iron door buried deep underground, its surface covered in strange symbols and mysterious markings that had been hidden from human eyes for decades. Some of the symbols were recognizable, chillingly so. They resembled old military markings, the kind seen in black and white photographs from the 1940s. It was a direct link to the darkest chapter of modern history, World War II.
So, in 1943,
yes, German occupied.
when the Germans occupied, they took over the tunnels.
The door was sealed tight, its edges rusted shut by time and moisture. It took the combined effort of several men to pry it open just a few inches. The moment they did, a powerful gust of cold, musty wind rushed out from the darkness within. The air carried the scent of damp stone, old iron, and something else, the smell of decay. The mystery had deepened, and the sense of unease grew. What kind of secret was so important that it had to be locked behind a solid iron door and buried more than 10 feet underground? They were about to find out. What waited for them on the other side would not only confirm the legends, but also ignite a firestorm of controversy and danger that would pull in governments and armed forces from around the world. The whisper from below the earth had become a shout. But they couldn't know that the real treasure wasn't the gold. It was a map. Ghosts of the Third Reich. Beyond the heavy iron door lay a vast, dark space. It was a huge man-made underground room, its walls made of wet, glistening stones, covered in thick green moss. Rusty old machines, their purpose long forgotten, were scattered around the chamber like ancient sleeping beasts. As the workers cautiously stepped inside, their flashlights cutting through the oppressive darkness, strange and scary sounds echoed around them. The drip of water sounded like footsteps. The creak of rusting metal sounded like something falling in the distance. The air was thick, cold, and heavy with the weight of 80 years of silence. But it was what they found in the middle of the room that made their hearts stop. There sat several large old wooden boxes. They were covered in a thick layer of dust and mud, bound by heavy, rusty iron chains. These weren't just storage crates. They were built like safes, meant to protect whatever was inside at all costs. As one of the workers wiped away the grime from the surface of a box, his hand trembling slightly, a word became clearly visible. It was a German word, and next to it an infamous symbol, the swastika. The connection was undeniable. This was a Nazi hoard, a secret stash hidden away during the final desperate days of World War II. You see, the thing that nobody tells you about the end of the war is the sheer scale of the theft. The Nazis plundered Europe on an industrial scale. We're talking about hundreds of tons of gold from national banks, priceless works of art stolen from museums and private collections, and countless diamonds, jewels, and rare antiques. The total value is estimated to be in the hundreds of billions of dollars in today's money. As the Allied forces closed in, the Nazis launched a frantic secret operation to hide their stolen wealth, hoping to one day retrieve it to fund a new rise to power. They used hidden bunkers, abandoned mines, and even sunk containers in remote lakes. This underground room was one of those hideouts.
This tunnel's man-made. This is what we've been looking for all this time.
With a heavy crowbar, they finally managed to pry open the lid of one of the boxes. The instant it opened, a brilliant golden glow spread throughout the dark chamber, reflecting in the wide, disbelieving eyes of every person there. The box was filled to the brim with glittering gold bricks, each one stamped with the eagle and swastika of the Third Reich. Alongside the gold were pouches filled with diamonds, sparkling jewels, and rare antiques that hadn't been seen by the public in nearly a century. The legends were true. For a moment, the men were speechless, lost in the sight of a fortune beyond their wildest dreams. But this hidden location was designed to store more than just gold and silver. Among the treasures, they found sealed containers holding secret documents, military maps, and strange pieces of scientific equipment that looked far ahead of their time. This wasn't just a bank vault, it was a time capsule from a fallen empire filled with its wealth and its darkest secrets. The discovery was monumental, a piece of history brought back to life. However, as they would soon learn, this treasure was protected by more than just a locked door and 80 years of secrecy. It was booby-trapped, and the deadliest trap was one they couldn't even see. A warning from the past. The initial euphoria of discovering a billion-dollar treasure quickly began to fade, replaced by a growing sense of dread. Tucked away among some old, decaying sacks, one of the workers found something that wasn't gold or diamonds, but was perhaps even more significant: an old torn map. It was drawn on aged parchment with strange codes and secret paths marked in faded ink. It showed that this underground room wasn't the final destination. It was just the beginning. The map pointed to a much larger network of tunnels and chambers, a vast complex hidden deep within the mountain. The treasure they had found was just a fraction of a much larger hoard. But before they could even begin to process this new revelation, the atmosphere in the room turned toxic, literally. Suddenly, a couple of the workers started coughing violently. They complained of heavy breathing and a sharp pain in their chests. A strange, foul smell, much stronger than before, began to fill the air. You see, many people are crazy about the idea of finding treasure, but they forget that these hoards were often protected by deadly booby traps. The Nazis were masters of chemical warfare, and it's believed they rigged many of their hidden bunkers with traps designed to release poisonous gas when disturbed. The workers were breathing in a toxic agent that had been sealed in this tomb for 80 years. Panic erupted as they scrambled to get out of the chamber and back to fresh air. But the horror wasn't over. As they were evacuating, one of the old rusty machines in the corner of the room inexplicably whirred to life. With a loud grinding of gears, it began to move on its own, its mechanical arms swinging wildly in the dark.
There are some rumors that some SS troops dropped some wooden cases into the lake.
There was no power source, no one at the controls. It was as if a ghost from the past had awoken. The combination of the mysterious gas and the self-moving machine was terrifying. It was clear that this was no ordinary discovery. They had stumbled into a place that was actively hostile to intruders. This was a matter of life and death. The site supervisor immediately made the call. The local administration and the military were informed of the situation. The response was swift and decisive. Within an hour, the entire area was cordoned off. The workers were evacuated and rushed to a medical facility to be checked for poison exposure. A team of specialists in hazmat suits descended into the underground chamber while armed soldiers set up a perimeter, keeping the rapidly gathering crowd of curious locals and media at bay. A secret investigation had begun. Under the cloak of secrecy, heavy boxes with locks and chains were brought out from the darkness. The contents were even more stunning than initially thought. Gold bricks, flawless diamonds, priceless jewels, and unique antiques from across Europe. But the scientists on site issued a chilling warning. They detected low levels of radiation emanating from some of the scientific equipment found in the chamber. Their conclusion was shocking. Some of these objects might contain dangerous radioactive material. This suggested the bunker was used for more than just storing gold. It might have been a secret lab for developing the Nazis' most advanced and terrifying weapons. The discovery had gone from a historical treasure hunt to a major national security crisis, and the public was about to learn just enough to be terrified. The official story versus the unseen truth. The news of a major World War II discovery could not be contained. It spread like wildfire, first through the local towns, then to national news outlets, and finally to the international media. The government's official statement was brief and vague. They confirmed that an archaeologically significant site had been located and secured for reasons of public safety. They refused to comment on the contents, the rumors of Nazi gold, or the mysterious illnesses that had afflicted the workers. But you see, that kind of secrecy doesn't calm people down. It does the exact opposite. It fuels suspicion and sends the rumor mill into overdrive. Many people are crazy about conspiracy theories, and this situation was a perfect storm for them. Was it really just gold and jewels, or had they found something much more dangerous? Tabloids and online forums exploded with speculation. Some claimed the bunker contained proof of alien technology that the Nazis had reverse engineered. Others spoke of lost nuclear secrets or the formula for a doomsday weapon. The government's wall of silence only made people more certain that they were hiding something truly earth-shattering. The public demand for transparency grew louder every day, but the officials remained silent. Now let's step back and look at this like an ordinary person trying to make sense of it all. Does a discovery like this really just happen overnight? A group of guys are digging a hole and just happen to find a secret Nazi bunker filled with billions in gold? The thing is, stories like this are never that simple. Are we missing a key detail? Perhaps the construction project was a cover story. Maybe someone had information, a piece of an old diary or a family secret passed down through generations that led them to this exact spot. Is it possible that this wasn't an accident at all, but the final move in a treasure hunt that has been going on in secret for decades? And what about the treasure itself? If it's truly the stolen wealth of conquered nations, who does it belong to now? Does it go to the government of the country where it was found? Or should it be returned to the descendants of the families and nations from whom it was stolen 80 years ago? The legal and ethical battle over the ownership of this fortune could last for generations. This discovery doesn't just open a door into the past, it opens a Pandora's box of complex questions that we are not prepared to answer. The discovery of this treasure raises a haunting question. Did we find it, or did it want to be found? Let us know your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more unbelievable stories.